Yeah, that's,
When was that?
Saturday night.
that
We came
article,
home from Grand Forks on Sunday.
letter to the editor, that was in the.
Oh, when we got to
South Shore Gazette.
Sisseton,
Oh, I didn't see that.
it's a whole different,
My neighbor stopped and
I
gave me
mean-
a bunch of copies of that.
some people were
Somehow
still
they
going
got
80.
Luke's name on that.
There were some semis that were traveling with their hazard lights on. There were people in the ditch. Yeah, it was, we came through about 6:30 on Sunday night. And from Grand Forks to Fargo, it was nasty. There were cars in the ditch, just from the snow blowing across the road, so.
Kind of lucked out.
All right, 9 o'clock yet?
Not quite.
Not quite.
Main Street. That's your painful.
We got everybody here, so 1 minute to go.
Myron, or not Myron, Charlie and Lee, have you made a decision on the Sioux Valley meeting on Wednesday, March 21st? Okay, I don't have you down. Okay, so Charlie, okay.
Let's see, where
I
was
should
that
have-
at? In Brookings?
Brookings, the County Outdoor Adventure
Yeah,
Center,
where is that? Anybody know where that's at?
22nd Avenue South,
Thank you.
2810 to be specific.
Down there quite a bit, but I don't know.
I don't know what it is either.
Should be the adventure.
9 o'clock?
Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday, February 27th. We'll open the weekly Cottington County Commission Board of Directors meeting with Pledge of Allegiance. And Jim, you want to lead it this morning? Sitting back there, we can hear all of you well.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jim. If you have a cell phone, please silence it or turn it off. If you do get a call that you need to take, please step out in the rotunda and take it. The meeting today is being streamed live, so if you approach the commission, you will be on, be streamed, just to give you a heads up.
Move to approve the
We
agenda.
have a motion to approve the agenda from Hatton, a second by Gable. Any discussion? At this time, I would ask in the audience, is there anyone out here that would like to address the board during the open? So we can allow time. Not seeing anyone, then all in favor of the agenda indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. How about the
Move to
minutes
approve
of the last
as
meeting?
emailed.
Approve, motion by Hatton, seconded by, who made that? Lee. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Jim, you're on, emergency management. And when you're up here, we'll also take number 5, that's action to approve the resolution for the pre-disaster mitigation plan. We'll do them both.
Okay, good morning.
Morning, Jim.
I've got a few things this morning. Begin with on the 28th, which would be a day after tomorrow, excuse me, I will be attending the city department head over at the Watertown Police Department. On March 7th, we will be having our regional Homeland Security grant meeting up in Webster. So any of the departments that have applied for grant funding from Homeland Security, we will be reviewing those grant requests up in Webster, and as I said, that will be on March 7th. On March 8th, we'll be having a Big Sioux Flood Information Project meeting over at the Watertown Police Department. That's at 10 o'clock. On March 20th will be our next LAPC meeting for those commissioners that attend the LAPC. The next meeting will be on March 20th. Then on March 22nd, I've been asked to speak to the Rotary Club here in Watertown, so I'll be doing a little short presentation at Rotary on March 22nd.
What you going to talk about, Jim?
I'll talk about the weather, I guess.
Okay, I was going to say, haven't you decided yet?
No, we haven't pinned it down. There's going to be quite a discussion on the search and rescue team and with their capabilities and so forth.
Good. You going to demonstrate the drone?
There you go, in the building.
There you go.
We'd probably crash it. On Thursday, January 25th, and then again on February 15th, I attended SLA meetings in Pierre. And the SLA is the state and local agreement. The state is looking at and working on coming up with a new formula for distributing the funds that come down to the county from FEMA. And we reviewed about 4 different plans there and had a lengthy discussion on those 4 plans. And nothing's been decided for sure, but the state is working on that. And we're probably looking at 2019 when that new system would be implemented. But
What were those dates?
What's that?
What were those dates that you gave?
Oh, January 25th and then February 15th were the 2
Okay.
dates that I traveled to Pierre.
Okay.
So just so that you're aware that they are looking at that funding agreement with the state and local agreement, and we're probably looking in 2019 we go to that new formula.
Actually, that changed.
Is it going to go up or down?
It just depends on which plan they go with, but it'll probably go down, is what I'm thinking.
So is this SLA, is that part of the agreement where we get part of your,
That's correct.
okay.
That's where FEMA passes dollars down to the
Okay.
state for emergency management.
Are you talking about his salary?
Yeah, we get reimbursed for, like, it's supposed to be 50%.
Right.
And I'm just wondering if that's going up or down, and,
Yeah.
Right.
okay.
The program we're operating under now was just changed about 2-3 years ago, wasn't it?
Not as far as the funding.
Okay, I
That's
thought the
been-
distribution was changed, it wasn't.
That
was
was
on
administrative
the-
cost is what it technically we're reimbursed on, which
I
is
think what you're
Jim
thinking of, Myron.
and Sherry's
Excuse me.
salaries, right?
Okay, all right.
Sorry, we
Right,
got
right.
several conferences.
What I think you're thinking about, Myron, is the Homeland Security Grant program.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is the Emergency Management
Yeah.
Performance Grant. It's called the
Yeah.
EMPG.
Yep.
And money is passed down, and basically it's targeting paying 50% of my salary plus 50% of Sherry's salary, with the federal funds that come down to the state that are passed down to the county.
Okay, all
To
right.
support the emergency management program.
And then the amounts that we don't get from the state or the federal government come from the general fund
Right.
to supplement the budget.
Got it.
Okay.
On May 14th and 15th, I have Sherry registered to attend a THIRA class. It's a threat assessment class, and that's going to be down in Sioux Falls. So I have her going down there to learn, because part of our Homeland Security Grant process now, this coming year, we're going to have to do an updated THIRA for our county. So I thought that, it's only logical that we send Sherry to the training so that we have somebody trained that can, guide us through that THIRA process. Because any one of these federal programs that we have to do and these reports that we have to do, they get pretty complicated. So yeah, you really need to have somebody that's trained to do it.
And what did you, that was a threat assessment?
It's a threat assessment. That's a THIRA. And it's going to be mandatory.
How are you spelling THIRA?
It's like THIRA.
Okay. All right.
So what type of threats are we talking about, Jim?
Just
Not to put you on the spot, but
It's anything that we can think of, any kind of threat that we may see that would be a possibility in our county,
Okay.
And with the THYRA, what kind of equipment, Troy, that we would need to respond to that threat. And we looking at the shortfalls that we may have equipment-wise, in our county to respond to a civil disturbance or a bombing incident or whatever, the case may be, it's, you just have to imagine, what are the possibilities and then go from there.
It's a kind of a military approach. Is it kind of doing that? You can see the parallels to where the way the DHS is having like all the ICS classes that we go through are all about how you organize for a disaster.
Right.
The question on that though, is that going to be an updatable document that we do annually, or is it already?
I can't tell you at this point, Lee, whether we're going to have to update it every year or not. We did a THYRA assessment for this year just as a practice round, but I'm sure that the one that we have to do officially for next year is going to be more detailed.
Will it have any pie charts?
No.
Just to check it.
Should make sure.
Okay, next thing I've got is on March 21st, Sherry and I will be attending the National Weather Service seminar up in Aberdeen. I talked about this a little bit last month, but sounds like it's going to be a very good seminar dealing with severe weather, weather siren activation policies. The news media is going to be doing a presentation there. Like I said, it sounds like it's going to be a very good seminar, and it's good timing, going into the spring and the summer with our severe weather season. On March 27th and March 28th, we have the weather spotter training scheduled. 3 o'clock on March 27th at the Cotting County Extension Center, and then again at 7 p.m. on March 28th at the Extension Center. Both those classes will be in the kitchen area.
What time is that, 28th?
The 28th is 7 p.m.
Thank you.
The 27th, it will be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I try to schedule one in the afternoon for people that are busy in the evening, and one evening session for people that have day jobs. Last thing I've got is just to update you on the pre-disaster mitigation plan that we had to have rewritten. It has to be updated every 5 years. That update has been completed. We've traveled to and visited with the city councils of Henry, Wallace, Florence, South Shore, and Kransburg. In all those jurisdictions, or all those the cities have approved the revised pre-disaster mitigation plan. The city of Watertown approved the plan during their meeting on Tuesday night, February 20th, and now we will be looking at the county commission approving that plan, which is the next item on your agenda, is the approval of the pre-disaster mitigation plan, the rewrite of it.
All right.
Where this really comes into play too is a pre-disaster mitigation plan. Every time that there's like a federal declared disaster in the state of South Dakota, the federal government sets aside a percentage of what that disaster costs for mitigation projects, and then a jurisdiction can apply for mitigation grant money to address, a particular problem, maybe a drainage problem, or it may be the need of a generator at a shelter, or whatever the case may be. If we don't have an approved pre-disaster mitigation plan, we aren't eligible for this mitigation funding. So it's very important for us to have this pre-disaster mitigation plan and make sure that it's updated every 5 years.
So I would accept the motion.
Make that motion.
We have a motion by Gable, a second by Waterman, to approve the resolution. Any discussion? Seeing none, I think Tim gave us a good review. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. All right, anything else for Jim? I do have one thing, Jim, is sitting on the safety committee that we're redoing the safety manual, or not redoing it, actually doing the safety manual. Rick is here as well, and Troy and myself. We had a meeting yesterday morning. I just brief the commission on what's going on, where we're at.
You know, Safety Benefits provided us with a model safety plan that the county could use, and we're going through that safety plan, or safety policy basically is what it is, but we're going through that and adding to and deleting sections to where it'll fit our county operation. So, you know, we've met twice on this. We've scheduled another meeting in March on this, and hopefully we'll have it put together to where, you know, we can present it to the commission for your review and, you know, adopt this safety policy for the employees of Cottington County.
And that meeting will be on March 26th. That's the Monday.
That's correct, March 26th.
Any questions for Jim? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Have a good day.
You bet.
What time was that meeting on the 26th?
10 a.m.
Number 6 is action on fuel quotes from the for county departments. And Rick, you have the numbers on that, I hope. Mine are buried in my phone.
Good morning. I visited with Jared Landmark from Sioux Valley, and in the past we've taken a solid bid, yearly bid. On this particular year, I'm going to recommend the 6 cents per gallon discount at the pump at the time. With the volatility of the stock market, and if you look at the fuel futures and so forth, I think we're probably going to have a better chance of not wasting money by going with that 6 cent discount.
All right, you
We'll
heard
make
the
that motion that we
you heard the request. That's your recommendation.
Rick's
Yes.
Except from which, did you name, did you name this vendor?
Yes, Sioux Valley,
Okay.
Cenex, Sioux Valley. Jared Landmark is the gentleman that
Okay.
presented the proposal.
Okay,
I think the commissioners all got a copy of it last week.
okay.
And I suggest going with what he has there. And it does state this is for all county cards and so forth. It's not just the highway department, it includes all county cards.
So
I'll make a second.
people are
I'll
talking.
second
So
it.
Gable, motion by Gable, second by,
I made the motion.
She made the motion, I was seconding.
all right.
Yeah.
Motion by Hatton, second by Gable. Any more discussion?
Brad is on board with this as well, the sheriff?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
And
It's all
everything
county
is good.
cards
Jim?
is what's stated. Jim, Brad, any, weed department, anybody.
Yeah.
And right now, the highway department, we do not have any cards in the department, but I will be getting at least a couple for myself and my assistant that drive flex fuel vehicles, and we'll be trying the E30. But we'll still, the fuel delivered to our tank at the shop will be E10 at this point.
So this Rick, this 6 cents a gallon covers what we get at the pump at the station? Is that where we'll be filling then?
No, well, you can fill with the card there, but it also includes 6 cents off the delivery price,
Okay.
you know, when they deliver to our shop, so.
Sure.
Any more discussion?
So this is the same as what the city does, basically.
Correct, yeah.
Yes.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you.
You bet, thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks for your work on that.
Number 7 is an item that I brought to the commission attention last week, action to approve a monthly cell phone stipend for the state's attorney. She has not had one in the past. I don't believe at that time I indicated what that stipend would be.
The maximum that we're currently paying for people with smartphones is $40 a month.
All right. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Gable?
No, it's by
Van Duzen?
Troy.
Troy?
I second it.
And seconded by Hatton. Any discussion? You want to include in that the $40? Or is that what you want?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do need to
the
designate.
$40
I automatically.
$40 a month cell phone stipend.
That would fall in line with the rest of the employees that get a stipend, is that correct?
Yes.
For that type of phone,
Yes.
yes.
Now, is it assumed that these employees are on call since they're receiving this cell phone stipend? They're expected to answer their phones, correct? After hours?
I know previous state's attorneys have, yes.
Okay.
Have
I just-
experienced that,
Okay.
Yes.
Not that we intend to bother them a lot, but,
yes. But they are basically on call in the event of,
right, okay.
They're on call 24/7, is about what it amounts to. Any more discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Number 8, this is an item that we've been working with the last couple, 2-3 weeks here, action to offer from the town of Henry for tax deed property, and then Harley handed out a chart or something here this morning. I haven't had a chance to really look at it. It's a sheet of paper in your folder. This was based on the land only. Is that correct? That $7,500 value? And there are the taxes, the levy, the tax for the last, since 2013, and so the bottom line is the total is $1,202.04. Now, have we received an official offer from the city of Henry?
I don't have anything.
I have that with me.
You have it with you?
Yes.
Why don't you come on up here, Mr. Larson?
Give you that microphone, Mr. Larson. Thank you.
The town of Henry is offering the full value of $1,204.04 for that property.
Okay. You heard how much?
1,204.
1,202.04 is what it does.
Oh, okay.
I may be
That's what it
right
is.
wrong.
No, he got it. It's
read
right
it
on the
wrong.
paper. It's right on the paper. All right, so this would be, at this, if we do this, this would be, we turn the land back over to Henry. That would be their baby. And is there any discussion? Is there a motion, first off? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept that offer.
I would second that.
We have a motion by Van Duzen and a second by Waterman. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, so
Yes.
I guess the question is, if we were to go to auction, I mean, we have to think, I understand Henry's point of view on everything, but I think if we're going to do this, then, you know, we're just taking the back taxes and being done with it. So and assuming a lesser value for the land. So are we okay? The question is, are we okay without attempting to go to auction?
Actually, we're not assuming a lesser value on the land. The land is appraised at $4,300.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
And this is the land value which was agreed upon by the town of Henry at $7,500.
All right.
That would be the actual true and selling price if it would do.
Just to,
All right, Nate, question answered?
Yeah.
All right, is there any other questions, comments, anything? Seeing none, we do have a motion and a second on the floor to accept this offer. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. You have a parcel of land over there.
thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you for your patience, and you understand what we go through as far as paperwork now, right?
I do, we all.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
Yep.
Job's not done till the paperwork's completed.
Speaking of which, I assume we'll be getting some paperwork.
We'll have to take, we'll have some further action on the board's agenda to issue a quitclaim deed.
Yep.
So it'll be
Couple
a
weeks.
while yet, yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Get it cleaned up, looking good over there.
Well, we're attempting to.
All right.
All right, number 9, closing audit conference. Do we have our
He is here. I will go and,
round her up? For those of you that,
Actually, let's do the other items
All right,
first.
okay.
Let's get those done, yeah.
we'll go on to number 10, action to approve claims for payment. What do we have this week?
We have payroll claims in the amount of $520,574.63. And we have our 911 surcharge payment to the city of Watertown for $22,717.53. Let's take separate motions on those. Let's
All
do the
right.
salary claims first.
Make that motion.
We have a motion by
to approve
Hatton,
salary
second
claims.
by
I'll second it.
Gable. Any discussion? This is on the first
Salary
claims.
claims,
Salary.
correct. Nothing
First
out of the
part.
ordinary there. We did pay out, we had one correctional officer who is resigning, so we did make her final payout, and none of that goes to the special pay plan because she is not eligible for South Dakota retirement benefits yet.
And that is included in your packet. You all, I'm sure, have found it by now. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, we'll have a motion on the
The 911 surcharge.
911 surcharge
Make that
dollars.
motion
We have
to
a
approve
motion
the
by
911
Hatton,
surcharge.
second by Van Duzen. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Action to approve personnel changes, we have
We have
one.
number 11, sorry. Number 11, we do have one.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
came
automatic
yesterday.
budget? Okay.
Yep, just came yesterday. We got our insurance check from Progressive for the totaled highway pickup in the amount of $25,872.43. So we'll need to do an automatic supplement to the highway budget to offset the purchase of the new vehicle.
Motion by Waterman,
So moved to what Cindy said.
a second by
second
Gable. Any discussion? We did all right on that.
That's just the insurance payment.
That's the insurance payment for the,
damaged
yep. So
pickup
we,
truck.
you know, we're, the new vehicle, ouch. The new vehicle, that was a little over $3,500, I believe.
Yep. Any more discussion? Any other questions? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Got that done. All right, then let's go on to personnel changes. We have one.
Deputy Sheriff Steve Lowry is due his annual anniversary step increase to step 4, $23 per hour.
I'll make that motion. to
Motion
approve.
by Van Duzen, second by Waterman. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. All right, travel requests. We have a few of those.
All with Steve. I think.
And actually, I have one also that I forgot to get the paperwork ready for.
Gee whiz, Steve
Myself,
ain't gonna be here all month.
myself and my auditor, one of my clerks, will be traveling to Mitchell on Monday for training on our new ballot counter. I will get some paperwork ready to have Myron sign, but I don't have the paperwork here. And we will use a county vehicle if possible. Our meeting starts at 1, so we won't leave here till about 10:30, and we should be back by 5 o'clock. So there'll be no overtime. Then the rest of these are all for the weed supervisor to attend the annual weed meetings in Brookings, Dual, Grant, and Hamlin counties on various dates. And doesn't look like there's any registration or meal. Looks like the only costs that'll be incurred are fuel.
Move to approve those
A
travel
motion by
requests.
Hatton, second by Waterman. Any discussion? I heard on the news this week sometime that some states are moving away from the automatic ballot counters and are going back to paper again. For, can you believe, I just shook my head when I heard that.
Troy knows how good the counters count.
Absolutely.
Because during the recount, you know, yeah, we know that it's accurate.
Very accurate.
Would that be in time for the next presidential election?
I don't know what the deal was there, but there was too much fraud they thought was going on with the electronic
But
process.
our equipment is not internet database. It's a jump drive. You know, we test it. We make up our own test decks for anybody to manipulate one of our pieces of equipment. It would take a lot of
And
work.
just for the record, my recount for this particular position was spot on.
Exactly.
Exactly what the
Yes.
computer said it was going to be, and that when they went back through and counted all of those hand ballots,
Yeah.
when they went back through and counted each and every ballot, it came out exactly the way
Same
it
way.
was. So,
That's the way it's supposed to.
yep, absolutely.
We were, about a year ago, about this time of the year, Cindy and I, we attended some workshop out at
Oh, it was last
Rapid
fall.
City.
Last fall when we were
Anyway,
at conference, yeah.
We got the whole load on it, and if you ever are interested in some of these things that we probably aren't, involved in, and I went to that meeting just simply because I just wanted to find out, I always thought
The open
Cindy's,
workshop format.
yeah, I thought Cindy's, job was pretty simple, but I got there, like, holy cow, they have to go through all this, a lot of stuff that they go through. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Do we have any old business?
I do. I attended the E911 meeting, and I'm just going to pass out this information just for you to look over. It's just the stats for the past quarter. And also, I guess, just a reminder that during this time now, excuse me, ICAP is helping people to do their tax returns. So if you are, if you've made under $54,000 and they are not real difficult tax returns, you can get that done free. So contact the office here in Watertown.
That would be the ICAP office?
Set up an appointment, yep. They will put you in touch with who you need to talk to, and that number is 886-7674. And then if you just mention the VITA program.
Maybe you should say it again for the stream, 886.
886
886
7674.
7674 for the VITA program, and that's the income tax.
Question, Brenda, or a little follow-up. Is that tied in with Lake area somehow also?
No, it's not.
I'm not sure if they use some of those. They have community service workers and volunteers, so they may pull some from that. I'm not sure who they have, but it could very well be some of those students.
Give you the microphone there, sir.
This is Dave Schlosser from the Department of Legislative Audits.
All right, well, Dave is here. Let's,
We met already, so.
Dave, I'm sorry, you'll have to hold that for immediate.
we'll go right back to 9 and get a report on the audit, and he's going to tell us how things look.
Okay, I'm going to pass out a,
And you expect us to read that, huh?
well,
It's
I'm
pretty
just
small.
going to get to the important part.
All right, that's what we like.
Paperless society.
So what I'm handing out here is what we call a management letter. And so it's just our form of reporting to the commissioners. We're required to report all, internal control deficiencies or non-compliance with state laws, that type of thing. But, so the first page there and the top and second page is for the most part pretty canned up. And we can read that, at your leisure there. But on the second page there, about halfway down there, we do have a written finding in the audit report on lack of controls there with some receipts there at the Sheriff's Department. And we'll go over that here in a little bit. But then, so then the next paragraph, these are items 1, 2, and 3. These are internal control deficiencies also, but they're not a written comment. They're just items bringing, brought to your attention. So we can go through those there. First item there is we always, test vouchers and things. There were some vouchers that weren't signed by the board chairman. So, the process that should be to get chairman all the vouchers for him to sign.
I'm just looking to see what those are.
Well, that one there, there was a whole series of them there that weren't that we came across that weren't signed.
They just got missed, apparently.
Yeah, that 140-119 there was I believe it's a Dooney asphalt.
Okay.
That was a large one for 813,000. So, I mean, there's other controls in place that are published in the minutes.
Yeah.
You
And we
know,
do
we
know
take
that
board
some of
action
the,
on
we
it,
do
too,
know that
so-
some of the vouchers
Yeah.
stick together, and we
So-
usually catch those and bring them back in, but it could have been,
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
one of the things that statute requires a chairman's signature.
yeah, they were a variety. It looks like, to me, it looks like the D folder got missed, because these are all alphabetically the letter D.
And item number 2 there, again, testing of vouchers. We saw where their individuals are probably paid a stipend there for their cell phone. But so we asked, Cindy.
And we did that the
Where
first,
was it in the minutes or policy,
Yes.
is those amounts, and we couldn't find anything.
so that's what we took care of this year.
So, yeah, if you want,
We,
you'd put that in your January minutes, or,
and we did.
They
Yeah.
were added to the
I
change.
don't know where those amounts,
Depending on the
I
type
don't know how long they've been in
of phone,
place or where they came from.
it depends on the type of phone, basically. If you have a smartphone with internet, you're going to get $40. If you don't need the internet to do your job, like the assessor's office, I believe, are only getting 25, so.
So, any of those rates should be set by the board. Item 3 there, we always test, some outlying offices during the audit. We do that on a rotating basis, but, this audit, we looked at the director of equalization's records. And they, just a couple things there with the receipts there. They weren't used in consecutive order. It was kind of a little bit of disarray there. Everybody just grabbing a receipt book. It was hard to trace those collections ultimately to where they were supposed to go, whether it be the treasurer's office, that type of thing. And in some instances, receipts weren't written. So we talked to them about that down there a little bit. They just need to clean that up a little bit. Down there at the bottom, material violations of laws, just for your.
We were supposed to make sure at the end of December that we are not above 40%.
And that's
the motion we take to designate funds for our future building projects.
Right.
And
Yep.
we had more revenue come in or less bills paid than I estimated.
Yeah.
So,
So it's just one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we did take care of that.
yes, we did.
Yeah, you can assign some fund balance, like you say, for future building purposes. You do have a pretty 5.5 million there. So within your authority to increase that amount.
And we do
so
restate that at the end of each year.
Yeah.
So,
Number 2 there, it's kind of a budget thing there. Your 2016 adopted budget, we got a line there, it's an appropriation line for $500,000 for capital outlay accumulation. But you would not budget for that unless it was done in accordance
right,
with.
we have a resolution in place, so we don't need to budget for it each year. And for some reason, that line
You had a
popped out
resolution,
at
correct me
me.
if I'm wrong, but I think you had a resolution back in 2012 for $500,000.
Yes, we did, and it
Just
does
one
not,
time.
does not expire until 2019. So,
Right, but that 2012 resolution wasn't to accumulate every year.
no, it was
a
not.
one-time thing.
It was not, true,
Okay.
yes.
So is this, if I don't understand all the accounting lingo, so when you say it's not to accumulate every year, does that mean should we have to
No, it means we do not need to put it on the budget each
Right.
year. It's
Okay.
You would
already,
only put it on the budget
yeah,
if you're going to accumulate for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, $500,000 a year.
Right.
yeah.
Then you would build that into your budget. It's not an expenditure line. It's, in theory, you're offsetting revenue
Yeah.
for that total appropriation. So in theory, you're accumulating those funds.
In theory, okay.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying there?
Okay.
That line item is not an expenditure. Revenue offsets it. So you got money coming in. In a perfect world, if if all your revenue's coming in, you got, yeah. if you would have had a capital outlay accumulation there, a resolution to accumulate, that would have been added to the
Appropriation.
well, that could have been added to your assigned fund balance, and you wouldn't have had any surplus cash. See, but so in the audit report, you have $6 million in set aside assigned fund balance, and $500,000 is capital outlay for that 2012 resolution, and $5.5 million is for that future building.
Yep.
So if there would have been a resolution, we could have had $6.5 million set
Right.
aside, but
Right.
there's no authority to budget for that capital outlay. And then the next item there is just, it's pretty self-explanatory there. The Watertown Housing Authority pays some payment in lieu of taxes, and auditor's office just apportions that out.
Yep, and what I did was I paid the city the county share, and the county kept the city's share. So I have already corrected that with a payment that we got this year. I reduced the city's share by the amount that I overpaid them.
Okay.
I did not seek board action on that, didn't know that I had to, so I just took care of it. And I have a note with the collection that we got in 2018.
So the county will not be seeking reimbursement?
No,
The city on that issue?
That's up to you.
yeah.
So then on the last page there, again, we're going to have a written finding in the audit report, an internal control deficiency over the sheriff's department receipt process there.
Was this what we had talked about
Yeah.
a while
Yeah.
back?
Yep.
I believe you guys.
And we have already put procedures into place now to make sure
Yeah.
that everything is in balance.
And I
Yeah.
would tell you that Sheriff Powell and the state's attorney met with us immediately when they were pretty concerned about this, and shared with us and kept us in the know so what was going on. So
Right.
we were well informed.
Yeah, I think the last day I was here, I went over there and talked to the sheriff, and he showed me some of the new procedures in place to make sure all the receipts are there, all the receipts are turned over, cash equals the receipts, that type of thing. So, and basically they kind of developed this cash cow sheet. Maybe they showed you that, I don't know.
Yeah.
They did.
I've
Yeah.
seen it.
So that seems pretty sufficient there.
Working, good.
So on the bottom here where it says management's response,
Yeah.
do we need to do a written
If
response?
you guys, you want to respond, you're more than welcome. If you don't want to, I can put, no response, but I should try to maybe get that from you guys today.
I think it's better if we respond.
Yeah, and just give an
And,
example.
it can be, you do have procedures in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much our recommendations, I think they're
Yeah.
being taken care of, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that your formal response that,
We've implemented all the recommendations.
Implemented, recommended.
And
I'll
this,
have you
yeah.
type them up and email it to me,
okay, sounds good.
and we'll just put that right in the
All right,
audit
yep.
report.
That'd be good.
So,
Problem's been addressed and corrected.
right, yeah. So, but yeah, it was, overall, one thing about Cuyahoga County is my first time I did the audit, but everybody's really helpful. And, we got questions or asked for information or records, really, everybody does a really good job of helping us out, so.
Good.
Just so that, the board knows that, But,
We appreciate that.
How long does that legislative audit, how long does that take to come in and audit the county here?
6 weeks,
6 weeks?
depending on,
it depends on several things, we did spend a little additional time with the sheriff's office on some of the issues this time, regarding that finding. But, and I don't, I think you received a preliminary bill.
Well, I think we did receive a bill. I don't know if it was for the whole.
I think that was because you budgeted for it
In 2017.
Yeah.
And we did
so
get.
you might get a final.
Okay.
But, the guy that helping me, it was his first audit, so some of his time's going to be written off.
Sure.
I don't know what the final bill will be, but.
Okay. Well, thank you for your service.
But it's, you're a larger county, so it takes a little extra time.
Yeah, anybody have any questions? Anyone?
Thanks for the rundown.
My question would be do we need to take action to respond? Do we have to have a motion to have you type up that response? So it shows up in the minutes that we did respond to the audit?
You can make a motion to authorize me to give your response. That's fine.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion
Second
by
that.
Van Dusen, a second by Hanton. Any discussion?
Just that, so we basically implemented the recommendations of the Legislative Audit Office shown here. So
That's correct.
that's it.
And that's what you need, right, Dave?
Yes, yeah. The audit report is ready to go. You just need to insert your response.
Okay.
So was I clear on the motion? Or do you?
I have a motion and a second authorizing me to respond to the audit comments and just need to vote on it.
Yeah, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Take that back from you.
Come back again.
Yeah.
What,
Maybe
5 or 6 years?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe you'll get a better chair next time. I know, it seems like they're here a long time.
Well, they're here about 6 weeks?
Yeah.
About that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They did not bother us at all. We are fortunate to have a place where we can put them. Other counties are not so fortunate. I know one county where they set up in the county commissioners' chambers during the week and then move out when the board comes in to have their meeting, so.
Yeah.
And we are also fortunate that we are not audited during an election year.
Right.
Because otherwise that back office would not be,
Available.
we would not have the space for them.
All right, do we have any more old business? We were kind of in the middle of old business.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman, just
Yeah.
just to follow up on the meeting we had with the architects on the 20th, we asked for a kind of a nice, I guess, a easier to look at schematic that we can maybe provide to the media. I'm still waiting on what's called a render, where you kind of show a mock-up of what the space will look like, and hopefully I'll get that today. But just to give you an idea, that's the design layout, what you see in front of you. You can see where it says courtroom, that's pretty much the equalization office now. I'll just go around counterclockwise. The attorney conference room, that's where the veterans office is now. Clerk of courts, of course, is where the nurse is. The security point would be down in that lobby area on the ground floor, kind of beneath the rotunda of this floor. And that's something that's going to be kind of what's called an alternate, which means an option if the budget allows and the bids come in, like as we hope. And then the where it says secure circulation and jury deliberation. Keep in mind that's about where the welfare office is now. So keep in mind that that's going to be on a floor a bit higher. So we have split levels in the courthouse. So that's going to be higher up than the courtroom. And that secured circulation part has a staircase that goes up behind the courtroom. So they'll put some drywall walls in there to do that. And that'll also be the additional emergency exit that's required by code. Then the judge's chambers is on the same level as the courtroom, that pink space there. And the judge will have a stairway, and then the handicapped access will be a lift back there as well. So that gives folks an idea of what we're up to. Yeah, any questions on that? And most of the meeting, though, was talking about the specifics of technology and the kind of computers, the kind of cameras, things that help a modern courtroom work efficiently. flat screens, all those kinds of things. And so that's already budgeted into the project budget. So that was most of the detail of the discussion. I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
The only question that I had asked me this week was the security part of it. Will everyone coming into the courthouse have to pass through security?
I can tell you, if we do this, at least when the courtrooms are in operation, and what that does, I know people might say that's going to be a bit of an added pain sometimes, but what that does is that saves the sheriff a lot of time from having to warn people outside of 3 courtrooms that might be working at once. So this is an operational cost savings. In addition, it's more security for the public, whatever they're doing in the courthouse. So, and the other thing to keep in mind is the idea is to, looking at the situation, we thought we could do this and still allow both north and south entrances to be addressed. And if you go back to it, there was a 1993 U.S. Marshal's report on the courthouse, and they recommended going to one entrance, creating an airport-type security setup. This solution allows us to use both entrances.
So Lee, just a question for you for clarification purposes. When you say security, if all 3 courtrooms are in session, the courtroom that we're looking at on the plan here is on the first floor. The other courtrooms are on the...
Yep. So basically what it would do, so you could come in either, here's the north entrance, you can see my mouse, north entrance, or come in the south entrance. So you go up, and then the security passage would be through this center. So folks could come in this way and go that way. If they have county business, they go back up into the courthouse.
And then
you
up
see
the
there's a
steps.
glass partition here that directs them down here. And if they could go back up to the other, they could go up to the other courtrooms on the second floor by staircase, or they could go to the elevator over here. So, and then to get out from this area, there's an exit here. And then because we have security measures in place in the state's attorney and the clerk of courts, you would just go directly to those offices without going through security. So,
Will that security station need to be manned?
well, when it depends, I think, on as we go through it and assess security, if we need to do that all the time, or just when court's in session. I think that's a decision we'll have to make. But this will provide the equipment to do that efficiently whenever we do need to do it. And so the sheriff can do this with 1 deputy as opposed to 3.
Yep.
So,
All right. Any questions for Lee?
And that's nothing new as far as being wanted when you go into a courtroom. That's something that our sheriff's office has been doing for quite some time now. So it's just repositioning them down to the first floor and having that deputy screen for all 3 courtrooms instead of 1 deputy per each courtroom. So I like that idea.
Yeah. So the idea is to minimize the disruption, but there'll be something that folks will notice. That's for sure. Yeah, that's pretty much it on this one. So what I'll do if you want this one, I can email it to the media, or later today, I might get a nice rendering to show kind of what the courtroom might look like.
Send this one, and then if you get the rendering, send that one.
Okay.
You got what you need, JT? I think you got what you need then?
Yeah, I'll send it through.
Okay, very good. Yeah, that's what, I guess, the other question that I've had from the general public is they're waiting to see what it's going to look like. And this would be a good opportunity for people this will really open up the door for more questions, I'm sure, is what it will. So, all right, anything else for old business? Seeing none, how about new business? Any new business? Any new business?
There is one more motion that I need.
All right.
It is to authorize you to sign the audit letter.
Oh, sure. Okay. We'll back up to that audit
I'll make
section.
that motion.
We have a motion by Hatton, a second by
I'll second.
Van Dusen for the chair to sign the audit report. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Just a quick question, Mr. Chairman. So that'll include the management comment on that last.
No, this is a different letter.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
It's a standard letter.
yeah, it's a standard letter saying we
Heard his report.
we acknowledge that,
Just acknowledge the observations and findings and
yes,
stuff.
yeah.
All right. New business. Any other new business? This afternoon at 12:30, I do know that we will have a planning and zoning meeting today, and we're going to be dealing with some capital situations. How about the open?
This
Anything
is,
for the open?
Yeah, some things that we may have, quorum of commissioners, like Commissioner Johnson mentioned, the planning and zoning. This is our monthly planning and zoning meeting. It's not the meeting on our, working through our new ordinances. There will be another meeting for that, but the date has not been set yet.
Can I ask a question on that, Mr.
Sure.
Chairman? So on that, on today's meeting, there is a point where the Planning and Zoning Board might recommend, there's an admin change to the ordinance, I think, right, is on that agenda?
Yes, that was the first meeting that we had as part of our going through the
Review,
ordinances.
yeah.
that was what we handled
Yeah, so it's
first,
the
the recommendation. So that will be discussed.
Not
at
very
the meeting.
exciting, but, part of
Yeah,
it, so.
that is part of,
Yeah.
but then there will also be public hearings on that
Okay.
going forward
Okay.
to be adopted.
Okay.
Also then, Wednesday, the 28th at 6 p.m., there is the weed and township meeting. It's that supper at 6 out at the extension office.
Annual.
Thank you. Also, this weekend is the home show. Saturday from 8 to 5 and Sunday from 8 to 4, take that back. So there could be a quorum of commissioners at those events as well. And I believe that's all that I have.
Commissioner Hatton, you want to talk about the meeting we
yes.
had with the city folks?
I was going to, that was under old business.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did meet with the city, a couple of the city council members and the sheriff and the city police officer, or chief of police on Friday. And it's still just a work in progress, trying to work through a combined solution to jail sheriff issues, so.
We have another meeting this Thursday.
Yeah, it's just
with Councilman Danforth.
It's just going to continue on until we get to something more newsworthy. We'll let you know, but it's just a work in progress at this point.
All right, anything else for the open? All right, I do have a request for an executive session by Commissioner Waterman.
I'll make a motion.
And that would be under personnel number 1.
Motion that we go into executive session.
We have a motion to go into executive session. Is there a second? Second by Waterman. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Mr. Chair, will there be any action after executive session?
I
anticipated?
don't expect there will be any action, so the press is good to go. We're missing Don today, aren't we?
Do we have to vote? I don't think we did.
No, we're in executive session.
No, we need to
All in
vote.
favor indicate, I did. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are in executive session. Thank you.